Greetings, everyone. This is Tiffany Martinez. As always, I hope you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. Before I get started with this reading that I did earlier today, if you like this type of content or you just simply enjoyed this video, kindly like, share, and subscribe. And you can follow me on Twitter at LawfulMoney76. Okay. I did this reading for somebody earlier today. Today is Friday, April the 11th. So, and this person simply is just not doing well, not at all. And I normally do not pull this many cards. If you've seen my previous readings, I normally don't pull this many cards. I usually have 3 rows, as you can see here, for past, present, and future. And there's usually 3 cards on each row, and then a 4th card, which is the advice, which helps ties the story all together. Well, today it was just a bottomless pit. Like, I almost have some form of empathy for this person, and it's like I'm not laughing at them, but at the same time I really shouldn't have empathy for this person. So alright, let's just get started real quick. This is definitely not gonna be a YouTube short. So the person, they have it says divorce underneath this card right here, because you're gonna see like basically a stack of cards, and that's because I asked Soul and Spirit to kindly basically elaborate on this card. Why was this card pulled? Why was this card selected? So it says divorce, but it has nothing to do with a divorce, but it says that person has broken a contract. And you know what happens when you break contracts? There's usually penalties involved. So the person has broken a contract, and I said, what is going to happen, with this person? It says the situation is about to explode. Shit's about to pop off in flames, and you can read the card yourself, and things are not going to be necessarily good, and it looks like this is oil or something along the lines. And looks like there's water right here. Oil and water doesn't mix, but the fact that it's exploding, it doesn't matter if it mixes or not. So the next one is bank failure. Again, that person must have had a contract or such with another individual, like they didn't hold up their end of the bargain. So they're having financial difficulties. And that's unfortunate for everybody, because it's just a lesson learned. You cannot help everyone in the world. The next one is underneath this card. It says recording, and it has like an old cassette type recording, and the thread or the tape is being kind of like ripped out. So, and I asked if Spirit could elaborate on that, and it's basically saying that the person is getting played, there's lies, and there's control. So, and the reason why the recording is there, and it says, I believe it says records underneath, and the person is saying, oh, I didn't say that, that's not true, but the person who's holding their phone they already know that they're lying, because text messages don't lie. A verbal contract will be different, because then it's, hearsay basically. But the fact that the person is lying, and the person who has proof, like for myself, it's kind of embarrassing, but I really don't care. I never delete text messages unless it's spam. I delete and block or whatever, but I have text messages from well over 5 years ago. Like, I just keep them, for this particular reason. so they can't say, oh, I didn't say that or whatever. So this person is being manipulative as well. So the next one is, it says, I believe it says expected, and the two people are in the picture. On the right is the woman, she's pregnant, and then I'm assuming that's her boyfriend or husband. I don't know, but this doesn't have anything to do with a pregnancy and everything to do with a new beginning. As I said, the first row is the past, and this is what's going on right now on the second row, which is the present. So I didn't ask to elaborate, which I should have, but I didn't, because it's just kind of like was self-explanatory. Is a new beginning, and the third card is total drama. It's like action. Here we go. Here comes the drama and probably the disrespect. You know how people do. And usually the person, when they're irate, they know they're wrong, but they're not mature enough to just stop for a second, take a deep breath, and apologize and make sure that it's genuine. And we're going to know if it's genuine or not, because your actions will be the apology, because you are actually changing. It's a new beginning. I'm going to apologize, and I'm going to move forward. I'm going to be the best me I can be. Whether that person accepts my apology or not, I'm going to show them that I have changed. Well, but the next card, like I said, is total drama. So, the third row, it says already knowing the tea. And I definitely ask Spirit for clarification on this card, even though we already know basically what this person is about. So it says love story once upon a time. And again, this one doesn't really have anything to do with a love story and versus basically a fairy tale, another lie. It's like we already know your history, so we don't really believe what you have to say. You know how that goes. So the next card, you can't see the word, but underneath this card where it says outdated, it says envy. Like the person is envious of the person who requested the reading. And it's like, why? It's 2025. Why are we still doing this? Like, why can't, like, literally, why can't we all just get along for the one time? But that person chooses to just be envious. And I asked for clarification on this card, and I asked for clarification on all the cards, the ones that I did ask for clarification, because I wanted to be sure that this is what it was. I didn't want to say, oh yeah, and then just make up a story. So because the person is envious, it's outdated, expired, disused, old news, disregarded, and like they're envious for something that probably happened a long time ago. It's like you have all these qualities. I'm talking about the person that the reading is about, but they don't want to see that. They just want to be angry in the world, for immature reasons. All right, let's go on to the next one. This card, you can't see the picture, but it says insecure. Again, oh, and the person is in this picture. They're like hiding behind the door, and they're feeling insecure for whatever reason. They shouldn't feel insecure, but most likely, if they had these money issues with breaking his contract, and I say money issues because of this card. It says bank failure. Whatever they're going through, it is going to basically collapse unless some type of change happens. So, and it says doing drugs, and the person says that they don't really believe that the person is doing drugs. However, it's like they probably feel like they are doing drugs because, you know, it's like, I think it's just like for instance, like a metaphor, you know, whatever they are addicted to, well, if it's shopping, you know, trying to keep up with the Joneses, um, you know, whatever their addiction is, that's what this card represents, I believe. I don't believe that it represents actual drugs. I believe it represents some form of addiction, meaning probably a materialistic type person that constantly shops and constantly, you know, trying to get an upgrade when, you know, they're maxing out their monthly income. They're already living check to check, but they make a lot of money. Like, I have worked with doctors in the past that, you know, they make a really good salary, but they're still living check to check, you know, and they don't want to save anything. They just want to spend, 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 spend. And they usually figure, oh, well, I get paid on Friday, so I get to do it all over again. And it's like, ugh, you know, and I remember seeing this, you know, with my own eyes. So again, I don't think that that card, if you ever decide to purchase this deck or, you know, wherever, or a deck that says doing drugs, unless you know that person personally, I would not make that assumption when you are doing a reading. So the next card is the advice card. So, and the advice card is there's the spirit suggesting anger management, um, especially if they're putting on a show. You know, they're always tired. They're tired of the drama, but they don't know how to get off of the drama. So, but going back to the beginning, um, you know, the broken contract, it's about to hit the fan, bank failure, and fake friends. So this person said that the person who broke the contract, they were friends with I think the bank manager at whatever bank that person works at. So of course, and it's like husband and wife. I guess there's a guy and a girl. I don't know, but either way, the friends is a they've been friends for years, but they haven't seen each other in a long time. But when they reconnected, when she realized that her friend worked at the bank, so they went out for lunch or whatever. This is based on this person, and they decided to do business together. That's a big mistake right then and there. If your friend works at the bank, you need to find another bank or do not go back to that same branch and keep your friend. Because if you're going to do business with them, it's like they already see how much money that you have, and their spouse may be able to do a project for you, whether it's contracting some type of like like if you want to add another room to your home, or you want them to paint, whatever the case is. And you may be actually trying to save money and say, well, I really don't have that much to spend. And they look over at your account. They like, this is a lot of money, or your salary is enough. So they end up knowing your business basically. And all of a sudden, that person is your friend, even though you've known that person, but they definitely want to milk you, basically. Don't do business at a bank that your friends work at, or even family. Even family, do not do business, because once they pull up your accounts, you know, they're going to see, you know, how much you have in savings, how much you have this, that, and the other, and you don't want to do business there. Just find out where the next branch is and do business over there, because you don't want your friend inside your honeypot, basically. So the next one is, as I said, total drama. It's like, oh, here we go. So this person is putting on a shit show. Like, they're gonna be like exposing it all, but not in their favor, being manipulative. Um, Basically, it probably could have some tears involved, some basically drama. So, but the same person that's doing all this, they're tired of the drama, but they don't know how to get off the roller coaster. They don't know how to get off because and it's sucking them dry. Like, it's sucking them dry. The addiction is sucking them dry. Whatever it is that they're addicted to, whatever they're using their money for and spending more than they actually make, that type stuff. And it is unfortunate. So I asked for more clarification, and I got this card, and it says betrayal, deceit, backstab, traitor, not to be trusted. So you can see a little rat there in the alley, and it's pretty much by themselves because you can't trust them. So, and it says, and that's what I felt when I got that tired of drama, putting on a show, total drama, you know. So, and then the lies and control, back to the beginning, definitely not to be trusted. So, the final role, which is the future, and that's pretty scary. And I'm a strong believer that you can change your future if you want to. It's a process, but you can change the outcome. It's a process, it's work involved, but if you're so conditioned to do this, um, especially if you are addicted to it, it's going to be an uphill battle, but one step at a time, I guess. Um, Now I can't remember what it says. No, this word you can't see is the word up. It says knowing they fucked up. So they know all this is true, but they don't know how to fix it, even though this person is trying to help them. And this card right here is depression. And like I said, I normally do not pull this many cards. I normally stop at past, present, and future and one advice card. But you can see it's just going downhill, 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 downhill. Again, this says depression, falling apart. Don't remember what this one right here is, but again, it's not looking good nonetheless. And this one is promiscuous. If you know what the word means, I don't believe it has anything to do with sex and sleeping with multiple partners. I don't think that. What I think is that that person has multiple people that they have had contracts with or have contracts with, that they have broken those contracts. That's what I think. And they will make a contract with anybody and not necessarily care of the outcome. They just want instant gratification, basically. So the next one, it says pregnancy test, unsure, pregnancy scare, positive, negative. I think that also goes with, because I remember asking this question, clarification, and what I'm taking from this card is unsure. Like, Spirit is just unsure about this person. They don't know if anything is going to change at the end of the day. And the next card is don't want to hear it. Like, again, the person doesn't want to hear that they should start saving. They should leave that in the store. You don't need another purse. You don't need this. You don't need that. But they don't want to hear that. They literally don't want to hear that shit. So, you just, like I said, it's just going downhill. And I don't remember what this one is. I don't remember what this one is. And this one says red lipstick, which basically means I'm saying to me that they're not going to stop the shopping. They're not going to stop their addiction here. They're just not going to stop. They're going to keep doing them. So, and the final card, because it was just getting ridiculously sad, kicked to the curb. And I never wish anything bad upon anyone. It doesn't matter how bad you screwed me over, how fake of a friend you were to me. Like, in general, this really is not about me, but I'm just saying, I just let karma handle it. You know, whatever's going to happen to you is going to happen to you, and I won't be attached to it. So, and I didn't pull any more cards after this because, I mean, look at it. It's literally going over the hill and into a bottomless pit. So, and this deck is entitled What Lies Beneath. And it's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this person is, one, dealing with this. And then two, it's unfortunate that the person has broken this contract, and I think that person has broken many contracts, you know, with many people. That's with the promiscuous. You know, it doesn't mean that that person is sleeping with people, because I mean, hell, if you're going to have that lifestyle, at least let them pay for it. I'm just saying. So I don't think it's that. It's just unfortunate. It's very, very, very sad. And I try not to use the word quotes wish, but I just would like to see this person have a better outcome, and that their ancestors stand tall beside them so they can be a better person at the end of the day. Anyways, that concludes this reading from Tiffany Martinez. Again, if you like this type of content, kindly like, share, and subscribe. And you can follow me on Twitter at LawfulMoney76.